After the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, European powers such as Britain and France occupied and colonized the Arab world and imposed artificial borders in the Middle East. These borders had never existed before, and they only served to protect British and French interests in the region. In 1916, the British and the French signed the Sykes-Picot Agreement, in which borders were created based on the agreed areas of French and British influence. However, there were many brave people who resisted these borders. One of these people was Sheikh Hayel al-Suroor. Sheikh Hayel al-Suroor was born in the year 1913 during the late Ottoman period. He was the leader of a nomadic Arab tribe known as the Al-Masa'id tribe. Many Bedouin tribes had traditional migration routes which they would travel on with their livestock in search of green pastures which depend on the unpredictable rainfall of the region. Sheikh al-Suroor and his nomadic tribe moved between northwestern Jordan and southeastern Syria. Therefore, the artificial borders created by the British and the French disrupted the livelihood and freedom of movement of the tribe of Sheikh al-Suroor. The British were in control of Jordan and the French had occupied Syria. Sheikh al-Suroor strongly opposed the Sykes-Picot Treaty and ordered his tribe to completely disregard these new borders which were imposed by the Europeans. Eventually, the British authorities banned Sheikh al-Suroor from entering Jordan because of his open opposition to the Sykes-Picot Agreement. However, Sheikh al-Suroor and his tribe refused to stop their traditional migration between Syria and Jordan. Because of the defiance of Sheikh al-Suroor, he and his tribe clashed with the British and French armies on multiple occasions. In 1929, Sheikh al-Suroor and his tribe were bombed by the British Air Force when he tried to cross the border into Jordan, resulting in the deaths of 24 of his men. A month after this incident, the men of his tribe ambushed and captured the British general known as Frederick Peake while he was patrolling the desert border between Jordan and Syria. The angered tribe of Sheikh al-Suroor almost executed Frederick Peake, but Sheikh al-Suroor spared his life and handed him over to the French in order to avoid further British bombing of his tribe. Sheikh al-Suroor instead decided to take a non-violent stance and continued to use his voice to speak out against the artificial borders imposed by Europe. Due to the threat of British attacks on his tribe, Sheikh Hayel al-Suroor stopped traveling to Jordan and remained in Syria. Sheikh Hayel al-Suroor joined the Syrian parliament and called for the unification of Syria, Jordan and Iraq under the leadership of the Hashemites. His call for unity angered the British and the French authorities in the Middle East, and he became an enemy of the European colonial project. Therefore, Sheikh Hayel al-Suroor was imprisoned by the French authorities in Syria and exiled to Egypt. Sheikh al-Surur eventually returned to Jordan in 1961 after the Europeans had left the Arab world. In 1987, Sheikh Hayel al-Surur was appointed as the member of the Jordanian Senate. He spent the rest of his life in developing the country through building and funding various institutions such as schools and hospitals, and helping the impoverished tribes and local people. Sheikh Hayel al-Surur passed away in the year 2003.